What's your thought on the Supreme Court ruling here, and what's that going to mean for LA?
I think it's shameful, it's disappointing, it's reminiscent of what my own family experienced, 80 years ago when they were put behind barbed wire in internment camps because of who they were. They were of Japanese descent, many spoke a different language. And I am very troubled by the majority on this Supreme Court that they would allow racial profiling to be used by ICE officials. I have constituents that feel compelled, American citizens who are carrying passports because they are concerned about being stopped by ICE. No American citizen should have to carry a passport in their own country. This is shameful. We are the land of the free, home of the brave. But the Supreme Court has said so otherwise today.
Congressman, we saw something similar last week in terms of the immigration raids at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. What message do you think that sends to foreign countries that are actively looking to invest in the United States? Is it safe to do so, especially in your home state of California?
Well, this certainly puts an ominous cloud over the goodwill put forward by the agreement between the United States and South Korea. South Korea agreed to invest $500 billion in our country. In fact, over the summer, I learned about the interest in building more manufacturing plants in my district, in addition to the one that already does exist that was established recently. So this is not a hypothetical or a theoretical question you're asking me. It really affects my own district. They were rapidly standing up a battery manufacturing facility in Georgia, Hyundai, and I forget the other company that the partnership with. But the South Koreans have really expertise in battery technology, and it's an incredible potential alliance between the United States, Japan, and South Korea. If we can determine the future of a battery technology, the next generation of battery technology, which the Chinese currently control, and I would hate to see that jeopardized. I would hate to see the $500 billion of investment in this country jeopardized because of the ham-handedness and lack of coordination of ICE with the Department of Commerce.
Well, that other company was LG, Congressman, and our listeners and viewers should know that you serve on the Education and Workforce Committee, along with being ranking member on the House Veterans Affairs Committee. But from your perch on workforce, what's the message here that we're sending to foreign workers? Would you recommend that they stay away from projects like this in the United States? And if that's where we are, do we have enough American workers to do all of this work, whether it's emerging technologies in batteries, semiconductors, or any other technology we're trying to bring back to this country?
Well, look, I don't know the details about what workers were being contracted with by the South Korean government, but I suspect, given that battery technology is, on the frontiers of manufacturing, that we have to do two things at once. We're going to need some foreign workers to help us stand up these facilities while we're also ramping up the skills and knowledge of the American workforce. We can do both, and I can't imagine that the Koreans were thinking that they were going to fully staff up this Georgia facility with their workers. This was a good faith effort to bring an American manufacturing facility, a Korean investment to build a manufacturing facility in the United States to employ American people, but they need to bring some of their own expertise into the United States to be able to stand up these facilities. So this sends a terrible message to the nations that Donald Trump claims to want to engage and to bring manufacturing. By the way, manufacturing jobs in this country are down significantly this year since Donald Trump took office. So this is not a great step forward for those American manufacturing jobs to be increased when we play such hardball with our economic partners, such as South Korea.
Congressman, let's talk about another subject that, of course, is dominating the headlines in Washington. It's a shutdown that we are about 22 days away from, just a handful of legislative days away from at the end of the month. Can you just talk to us a little bit about whether or not you'd be willing to work with Republicans to avert a shutdown if the idea of no rescission packages was on the table?
Well, I would love to work with them. I'm all with full intent to do that, but what I see coming out of the Labor HHS Appropriations Subcommittee is anything but that. It is not an olive branch. It is not what they're proposing more extreme cuts to domestic health care in that Labor HHS bill. They're cutting AIDS funding. They're cutting funding for prevention. We're on the cusp of defeating AIDS, HIV/AIDS in this country, but I don't understand why, after passing over $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid, and other cuts we're facing in December with the tax credits for the health care policies that Americans get off the exchange, Republicans are doing even more than that. So, if you're a low-income person, you won't be able to get, if you're kicked off of Medicaid, you won't be able to get, preventative care that comes with maybe AIDS prevention. But they're doing more to even cut that even further. This is not a bipartisan conversation they're having in the House Appropriations Committee. I don't see a sign from Republicans that they are seriously, with good faith, wanting to work out a deal by the end of this month.
Congressman, you just came back to town from California, where the big story right now is about redistricting beyond the deployment of federal troops or some of the other things that we've already had a chance to talk about. Gavin Newsom is making good on his plan to follow Texas, rewriting its map to create 5 new red seats. California will do its own to try to maintain the balance. How many seats will you get? I know this is something that you're deeply involved in. And will this mean the end of Republican politicians in California as we know them?
Oh, hardly is the case. I mean, what we're doing in California is called Proposition 50, the Election Rigging Response Act. It'll be in November. It is a measure that is being voted on by the people. It's fully transparent. Yeah. And it's a suspension of our independent redistricting commission, which, by the way, I am the product of. I would not be a member of Congress today were it not for the nonpartisan independent redistricting commission that was created. But look, I favor the creation of these commissions for every state in the union, not because they will favor Democrats, but because we need fair representation. What we don't need is mid-decade redistricting, which really is tantamount to cheating. And Donald Trump and the governor of Texas, Donald Trump is saying, what Donald Trump is saying is, I'm too insecure. My policies are so unpopular that I don't want to be able to face the accountability that will be in 2026. So let's rig the elections so that I can control the House of Representatives.